Hello and welcome to Raider HQ After Dark. I'm your host, Raider. And in this video, this is going to be an actual video to Papa Bear Doug Collins. And normally I do the shorts and whatnot, but this is going to be a little bit of a PSA that's targeting Doug Collins to hopefully get him to listen to this, but also to put a PSA out there to my fellow veterans and anybody else. So it was recently brought to my attention that not all VSOs, the free option of the Veterans Benefits Claims Process System, that not all accredited VSOs have access to VBMS. Now, VBMS is what I would consider a critical program that is needed to do the most fundamental and basic components of the claims process of filing your claim, right? So there is a little bit of, I would say, kerfuffle here that when you go to a VSO, you are hoping, and almost to the point of you are expecting these human beings to have access to your STRs, to your service treatment records, to your OMPF records, your military personnel file, to your prior rating decisions. So that way you can file at least coherent supplemental claim if you were previously denied for something. Because if you don't have access to that any of that information, what are you providing to the veteran that helps them in any meaningful way, shape, or form? So, Doug Collins, number one, Papa Bear. Come on, Papa Bear. You got it. Like, I know you're trying to automate some stuff, but the people submitting the claims have to have access to VBMS. Sir, you have one job, okay? Make sure that the people that are tasked with submitting the claims for the veterans, if you want them to use that option and you don't want them to use the claims companies and things like that, okay? If you don't want them to do that, then make sure that all of your VSOs have all the tools in their toolbox to be able to file the claims effectively. I am beside myself. I didn't believe it. There are multiple VSOs that have reached out to me via email that have told me that this is true, that this is a fact of the environment. And VSOs get a lot of hate because they can't do anything. You know, a lot of them can't do anything. They can't look up to see what your exam request was, right? Because that's a key component for a VSO to do. Like if they're helping you with a supplemental claim, then they should be looking up to see if all of your prior evidence was given to the examiner to have an informed decision to see whether or not a clear and unmistakable error happened. So if not all the VSOs have access to VBMS, then why are they helping people file claims? What's going on, Papa Bear? Like, seriously, this is too easy. I mean, I don't know this, but the moment I found out, I'm distraught about it because this needs to be fixed. This isn't just a short. This is a stop the line. You know, we've got a problem. One of the key components is not functioning as needed. Now I tried looking up the statistics on this, and there are no statistics on it other than to tell me, yeah, it's true, but we just don't know how many people out there just don't have VBMS access. So, Papa Bear, during the government shutdown, you need not $1 to do this. You can make this happen without any single dollar. You can take all of your furloughed, non-furloughed, critical support staff and make this happen. Okay? You don't need one additional dollar to do this. And if you tell people that, that's a blatant lie. You can just implement these things. You don't shut down. We don't just eyes wide shut while the government shutdown's happening. Fix this. This is wrong. Like this is wasting everyone's time and money. Should we be paying people that don't have access to the needed programs in order to do the most fundamental task that they're tasked with doing? It'd be like a Raider without VBMS. What am I going to do? Can't file a claim, can't process a claim, can't do anything. Like, what am I going to do? So, Doug, you need to fix this. This is ridiculous. Now, veterans, okay, everybody that's watching this that's a veteran, okay, all of my advice that I've given up until this point still remains true. However, now I have to put the caveat in there that when you go to a VSO, your first question should be, do you have access to VBMS? If the answer is no, leave. They can't help you. I don't care what they used to do. They could have invented the VA. I don't care. They can't help you unless they have VBMS. There's no reason to go to them if they don't have access to VBMS. Anybody can file a form. And if you file blind forms, you can you can hurt your chances of getting service connected if you keep throwing spaghetti at the wall by just filing forms. That doesn't help anything. Yeah, the VA will have 14 million claims this year, and it'll be the most they've ever had in their entire life, and the denials will be awesome, but it doesn't help anything. So veterans, get out there. If you're going to see a VSO, ask them, do you have VBMS access? If they don't, leave respectfully, nicely. It's not their fault sometimes. Sometimes they don't have their PIV card in order to access VBMS, their little, like their CAT card back in the day when you were in the military. If they don't have their PIV card, then they don't have their PIV card. And this is systemic. This is not something like, if I'm hearing from multiple sides of the country that this is happening, it's not an isolated incident. And it's worrisome because you're putting your trust into people that have no functional understanding of what's going on. They're just taking actions and looking important doing it. Now, this will also, if the accredited claims agent or the accredited attorney does not have access to VBMS, this is also a please, thank you for your time, but no thank you. Okay. Now, claims companies, they don't work under the premise of having that, so whatever you're going to do with them, do with them. But I'm talking about people who should have access to VBMS. If they don't have it, then they're not helpful at all. Yeah, no. I wouldn't touch them with a 10-foot pole. So anyway, so that's about all I got for you in this video. I just it's a PSA. I want to put it out there that I didn't know about this. I'm going to spread the word about this because this grinds my gears, okay? Because they had one job. Papa Bear, you had one job. Make sure that the people that have access to VBMS have access to VBMS. It's not hard. Get IT involved. Get the PIV card person involved. Get them involved. And don't tell me that the government shutdown's been going on for what, a month? We're what, 9 months? You've been 6 months at least. You've been in office. This should have been something that red flagged from the red flags. And I'm not just blaming Collins on this one. If this problem's been going on for a long time, then shame on everybody involved. Because that means that veterans' claims have been just willy-nilly pushed and denied without any, I feel like if you're a VSO and you don't have VBMS access, you need to be upfront with that. And if you're using somebody else's VBMS access to pull up records and stuff like that, okay, the struggle is real. I get that. But I also get the fact of, this falls on leadership, not on the individual, because they're probably not the reason why they don't have access. It's up the chain why they don't have access, but it frustrates the heck out of me. So that's about all I got for you on this one. I felt the need after the live stream because this kind of came out on the live stream on the 1st, and I've just had a lot of Lieutenant Dan bashing. So I don't know. Anyway, Raider out.